let me know if I sound relatable to you. Have you ever been to an exhibition related to interior design or architecture, or with your clients, or your boss where you're interning at, or with some of your faculties, and they're talking about certain words, and you are absolutely not aware of that kind of design vocabulary, that kind of design language. So even when you write and explain your design, or you're making your designs at a very academic level, you need to write these certain words. You need to get used to the design language and the vocabulary that design has. So each word I'm going to discuss here today, right now, right here on my channel. So we are going to concentrate on A to Z of interior design, and this is specifically meant to understand the words which are related to design, and you start talking in terms of this kind of language. Make sure you watch this complete video. So I'm going to discuss again A to Z of interior design. So we are going to start at alphabet number A, and we are going to end at alphabet number Z. So this video is going to be really cool when it comes to that, because we are going to start with the letter A. I'm going to show you certain slides, and let's see if we can get these words right. And okay, so let's just get started. These are very few words which I'm going to discuss today, them in their design vocabulary. So next time when you hear a certain word, it's not like you don't know about it, and you don't even need a dictionary, because well, here I am, the serial designer. So the for the people who are new to this channel, make sure you subscribe to our channel and check out our mind-blowing podcast sessions with industry experts. And for the people who are already subscribed to my channel, please make sure you give your valuable comments in the comment section, and make sure to never miss another update from us. The first word that I'm going to discuss today here is accent lighting, and these are again very basic words. So, what is accent lighting? It is a controlled and a very specifically focused lighting for accentuating your spaces, and giving your space an accent, and to sort of highlight the beautiful elements. Say for example, you have a wall, or you have a beautiful textured tile which you want to highlight, or you have a beautiful painting or a statue that you want to highlight. This is the perfect thing. So basically, lighting can make or break a space. So this is a very good example of accent lighting. That is, you highlight your interior elements along with light. Second is B for backlash. What is backlash? A vertical area behind a counter. That could be a counter sink, or it could be, a kitchen backsplash. So because we are using water, and we don't want our walls to get wet, this is over the sink, over the kitchen counter. So we provide this styling layer which does not allow your water to sort of seep into the walls, and it sort of will drain itself. Because it's tile, it will resist water. So this is the whole idea of a backlash, which is available in the kitchen and the bathroom, basically the wet areas where the sinks are available. So I forgot to mention that you need to start taking screenshots of these words. You will have a tough time finding it again and again. So it's a C for console table. So it's basically a freestanding table, and often used in entry foyers of homes, or in hotel lobbies, or even PVRs for that matter. So it basically serves as a decorative element, and it is generally the table on which you put your keys, or there's a Lord Ganesha Murti at the entrance. So basically, it just highlights the the entire space, and it's an accessory table, and it is different from a shoe cabinet. It is just used as a very decorative element in larger spaces. Next, we have a duet cover. D for duet. It's a fabric casing for your comforter and your soft fillings. So basically, you can probably change your duet covers from mattresses to mattresses. So your comforters and everything are all lined with this double duet covers. So you will of course find this in the fabric section of your material library. Next is E for entertainment center. So we generally don't call it TV units anymore. We call it an entertainment center, because there is gaming, there is audio, there is there are different streams, even a projector system. So all these audio and video systems are installed in your entertainment center, and we no longer again call it a TV unit. Next is F for futon. So it's a Japanese style mattress placed on a folding frame. So this can be used, both as a seating piece and a bed at the same time. So that is going to make it pretty cool. So you can have this in probably bachelor homes or studio apartments. So it really helps because it is quite multifunctional and multi-usable. You can shift it from one room to another, so that's a very good added advantage. Next is G for grout. So it's a thin layer of mortar used to fill spaces between your tiles, your bricks, and your marbles. So basically there's a gap which remains when we do flooring, right? So when you attach two flooring side by side, there's a middle gap. So probably grouting will help you sort of merge the two and give that seamless look which you need. Also, grouting comes in a various materials and elements. You just check grouting and you get like n number of grouts. People also use contrast there, so that is something you can really look forward to. Next, we have H for hutch. So hutch is very a typical older version of furniture, but nowadays people are using it, and people are including that in your homes. You must have seen this in a lot of series. So hutch is basically an enclosed cupboard where people used to add crockery. So it's like a very older version of a crockery unit. So it used to have shelves where wine used to be kept, and there was a small table for a buffet. If you want to revival the past or something, this is a definite go to. Next, I for inlay. It is an ornamentation process in which there is one material which is sort of pasted inside the surface of another material, and it sort of creates this beautiful pattern. And basically you can insert and plug in any kind of material that you want. It can be mother of pearls, it could be ivory, it could be metal, it could be stone, it could be shells, and it all in all it looks just very beautiful. So basically it's like the clubbing of two materials, and you can create like interesting patterns and textures out of it, and it looks really rich and classy. Next is J for Japandi. So basically Japandi is not like a material, but it's more like a Japanese style of a mix of minimalism and Scandinavian and functions and feels and all. But all in all, this is the style which a lot of places nowadays are adopting. And it has very clean lines, a very minimal look, and very neutral colors. It's all all in all a beautiful palette of natural elements, natural materials. It gives a very serene and a very harmonious kind of a feel. So I think all in all Japan D is a kind of a style more than the kind of furniture they prefer, but it has certain furniture which come under the Japan D style. Next we have K for knockdown furniture. This is also known as like a flat pack, or a very ready to use furniture. So what you need to do in this furniture is this is very famous because IKEA has come up with this kind of furniture. So the knockdown furniture is completely assembled by the consumer. So it is very popular because of its convenience, and it's very affordable as well, and very easy to transport. Plug in sort of screws, follow the manual. It comes with their own screwdrivers and tools, and you can probably just make your furniture on your own. Even online you will get all these kind of furniture. So this basically can be used for people who are living on rent, or a studio, and they don't want to have permanent furniture out there. So this is a very good go-to for them. Next, we have L for lure. So lure, a lot of you guys already might be knowing, but I'll just repeat myself. So it's basically like a slated shutter kind of a thing, or a blind, and it allows a lot of airflow and light to pass through. So it also makes a very good shadow play if you're like using it in your design and you have natural light coming in. So you can just probably like buffer it, and it also provides a lot of privacy and shade as well. So louvers are often used, in place of windows, doors, ventilation systems, and even exterior. It is used as wooden fins. So I think they all like come under the category of louvers, and they are really hot in the market right now. And there are n number of materials in which louvers are made. It's not only glass anymore. So you can just go ahead and check it out. uh, M for Murphy bed. So it's a framed mattress that can be, probably folded or raised up to be concealed in a wall or a cabinet. Murphy beds are really, trending on Instagram, you can say, because a lot of people are adopting it in their houses. It's a very good modular kind of a furniture piece. It directly goes in your walls, and you will not even realize that it's there. And you have to just pull it down when you like probably need it. So it again saves space, and you can like probably multi use your space. Next, we have N for niche. So niche is basically a recessed area, like a gap created, within the area or a room or a wall for that matter. And you can have your display pieces there, or you can have your toiletries kept there in case if it's in the bathroom, and you can have it below the staircase. So all these spaces which create like alcoves and recesses in your rooms and your walls are all niches. Next, we have O for ottoman. Now, ottoman, again, a lot of you might be already knowing it. So it's a low upholstered, footstool kind of a thing. It is generally kept like right in front of your bed space. Use it for watching TV. So this is basically used in areas and rooms which are really big in size, because there's a lot of space which one can use, and you can probably sit there, and it's an extra addition to your bed itself. So it just makes your bed look a little more spacious and a little more bigger than it actually is. And it also has no armrests and it's no backrest. It's just like a stool. Next is P for parquetry. So it's a geometric wood pattern inlaid into flooring or furniture. A lot of people are going ahead and using parquetry nowadays, because people are into like this intricate details in their houses, and the small various kind of details. So a lot of console tables and a lot of cabinets, crockery units are made in this type of a concept, because this is something which was there a few years back. It had picked up and then it diminished, and now again it's picking up pace. So this is something you can definitely go ahead and check it out. Q for quilt. This was a difficult word because you don't have really a lot of words, but quilt is composed of basically two layers of fabric, and it's a layer of bedding basically in between them. So quilt is somewhere between the lines of a comforter and a mattress, thinner kind of a mattress, and it's again used as a fabric and an upholstery to accentuate your bed space. Next, we have R for recessed lighting that are installed into a hollow opening in a ceiling, or creating a very sleek and an unobstructive lighting solution. What recessed lighting does is it is used in place of your general illumination. Why? Because it gives that feeling that you can't see the light source, but you can definitely see the light. So it just creates this very warm kind of a space, and no direct light is like pushed into the space. So good spaces where recessed lighting can be used are relaxing spaces like salon and spas, and even homes for that matter. So a very good recessed feature wherein you can't see the light source, but you can see the light and you get the illumination of the light. So you can definitely go ahead and check this out in other examples on Pinterest as well. Next, we have S for Seti. Seti, again, a very olden kind of a furniture, but now it has, improved, and, it comes in various n number of textures and n number of upholsteries and uses for that matter. So basically, it's an upholstered piece of furniture that is, quite long enough to accommodate only two people. So in olden days, it was just used like a better version of a bench, but nowadays it is also called as a love seat. And in smaller houses, only the couple is living, or there are a couple of teenagers living. I think this kind of a couch is really favored in place of your long L-shaped sofas or a regular three-seater sofa. Next, we have T for task lighting. Now, lighting that is specifically designed for a very, very functional purpose. That is, if you're reading, so you have it, beside your bed, or you're like working and you have it like right above on your study unit, used for certain tasks. So even your kitchen has, right above your stove, a task which is for functional purposes only. We have U for upholstery. So basic furniture, that is your sofas and your chairs, are all filled with a lot of padding, and different fabric, vinyl, leather, and even other materials, velvet, are all used for that padding. So all these fabrics and the foam, everything altogether comes under the hat of upholstery. So it's a different niche altogether. There are different stores which are specifically designed, where you can buy your upholstery, your curtains for that matter, any kind of fabric that is involved comes under the hat of upholstery. Next, we have V for vanity. So a vanity is like a countertop kind of a thing in your bathrooms, or it could be along your dresser, and it's like an extra space right beside your sink, wherein you can have your makeup kept, or you can have your shaving kits kept, and n number of other things as well, somewhere in between a dresser and a bathroom unit. We have W for wainscoting. Wainscoting, again a very older term which we have been using since a while now. It's an application of wood, sort of molded up, but in the lower half of the wall only. Use of molding and wall panels in your walls, but wainscoting is something where you use it in the one third of the space, that is the lower half or the middle half of the space. And it really gives a very very luxurious feel to the space. Automatically your space gets really highlighted when you use the lower middle half into these panels, and you use a lot of molding. So this will give this process is called as wainscoting. Next, for xenon, again a very very difficult word to find a word from. Why is it called as xenon lighting? Because xenon gas is used in the light fixture to make the light fixture, and it produces like a bright and very unnatural light. It has this beautiful yellow tint, and sometimes it is used in sort of chandeliers. It is used in display lighting. It is used to display art, for that matter, even used in accent lighting of spaces. A lot of interior spaces have xenon lighting used in their design. Next, we have Y for yoke back. Again, a very difficult word when it comes to finding an interior design word related to it. But design of this featured chair, wherein the backrest of the chair or the sofa is shaped like a yoke. It's like a curve, and it's sort of a little reclining. So often it is used as a very decorative detail, and it has gives a structural support to the back. So yoke back chairs are very common in very traditional vintage sort of farmhouse countryside kind of a a feel, and it gives your complete support of your back. So basically they're curved from the behind. So you can definitely go ahead and check a few more examples out other than the one I've already given. Next, we have, last but not the least, Z for zebra wood. A wood that resembles sort of striping of a zebra, and it has like dark stripes and light background. So really it's a very good feature when it comes to designing this. And you can definitely use this in your flooring, or in some spaces which have your doors, and even cupboards, cabinets can be made of this kind of a wood. So yeah, that's it. These are my A to Z. Let me know in the comment section how you would like the video. This is part one of explaining you A to Z of design vocabulary. And these words, trust me, the moment you speak these out of your mouth, the person opposite to you is going to understand that you know design, and you have come here for business, and they are not going to take you lightly. Trust me. So make sure you subscribe to my channel and never miss another update from us.